had the business. I traveled. I was
Mhm.
the problem was that COVID. I started business in 2020. COVID
Mhm.
19 happened, so it just shut down the business because I was doing like corporate training,
Mhm.
and so you can't have meetings during a pandemic, or they didn't allow us to have one. So
Okay.
yeah, so that got shut down. That threw me off, and then I moved into the security side of the business, and
Okay.
and still with any business you're starting off, you got to advertise, you got to market, you got to go out and shake hands. Well, no one wanted to see you, so it was very hard to grow the company through those years. I mean, very
Mhm.
hard. Some people got off because they had a good setup and everything else, but it was just me. You know, with couples, someone would run the days, and then the
Mhm.
someone would run the night. You know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
they partnered up. Me, I had to run day and night, and yeah, it wears you out. So I was glad to leave that.
Yeah. Yeah. And hearing all your travels while you were in the military, I could see why, you're in no big rush to get out there again because you've seen so much. It's like I know this is a big world. There's a lot to see. Um,
Well,
but I can understand.
that and it's I'm recovering financially, so that and the cost. Um, I don't have like my day off coming
Mm-hmm.
up. I'm going to work one of my 2 days off. I might even depends on if they have emergencies or not. I might even work two of the days off. So just trying to recover and recoup my finances. So there's that luxury of traveling is gone for now. So that's why I'm putting a lot into my business. Um, you know, uh, I write my books, different things like that,
Mm-hmm.
just to keep things going.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, no sad stories, just life, recovering, recouping, and moving on. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
I know a lot of people can relate to that too.
right, right,
Yeah, a lot of people can relate. Times are not like they used to be.
right,
My goodness.
right, right.
And now with prices being so, uh, just being so up there, it's like you got a couple of jobs to go out and enjoy your life.
Right. True.
Be entertained
True.
and go places and do things.
That is true.
But no matter what, people are still moving and they're
Yeah.
still driving and still moving in spite of.
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
I, I was looking at something I was looking at the news on yesterday, and they were talking about the prices of new vehicles. And
Right.
on average, you know, you can find a vehicle no less than about 50,000 for a brand new decent vehicle,
Gotcha.
and that is crazy.
That is
The funny thing about that is once the prices go up, they never come back down.
right. Right.
And I'm just talking about traveling and the cost of life.
Yes.
The cost of things, luxury
Right.
things that we need. And yeah, we need transportation, but it's just everything is so expensive.
Yep.
And for me, I'm like, when, and why? When did all this happen? Why is all this happening?
Yep. That's a subject
And the price.
we can travel down. Again, you look at you know you can see the spike when it goes up and why it goes up. The influx of migrants, the COVID-19 shut things down, the war in Ukraine, different little things that
Mhm.
someone else coming.
Yeah.
Let's see what's all right. They should be on now,
Mhm.
but I don't see anyone. But let's see, they're there. I just don't see them.
Oh, you don't? I do.
Okay, I don't. No.
Do you have what? Sebastian, you can speak. You should know that guy right there.
Side by side. I still don't. I don't hear anybody.
No,
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
All right. Hi.
All right.
We're just talking about.
Stop.
We're just talking about family, friends.
Yeah, I'm just getting off.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, it's I say travel is a luxury right now, but in the future, like I said, whenever a subject come up, I like to run down the nitty gritty. To get the receipts, why something happened, what's happening, and that sort of thing. I do a deep dive because perception is not always reality. We can perceive that life is this way, but if you start looking at it, oh, I had no idea this what brought this on, and this is what this is about. Until I put it to you this way. So I got a guy I work with at work. He believes in flat Earth. He doesn't believe the world is round. That is his perception. You cannot get him out of that perception. However, I asked him a question. Have you ever been in a plane? No. So we can be ignorant of the world and refuse to reach out and try to find the truth. We're stuck in our own little perception of the world. He argued down is that the world is flat. So just trying to work with. Also, trying to learn from him, like where you get these ideas. So where you get these ideas from? Like, wow, and so he sent me some videos. And the thing about it, all right, so you send me a video. To you, the video is fact. To me, it's opinion. And then I'm gonna break it down, the video, and then he don't want to discuss it because it's almost like a religion to them. You know what I'm saying? So they have their faith in the flat earth, and it's intolerable for them to change. No. And then they, yeah. So that's all. So when someone says something, I don't always do it, but if we get into it, I'm gonna do a deep dive, do a PowerPoint presentation, and like, let's look at it. This really see what we think we know, because a lot of things that's out there is propaganda from both sides, from any side, from religions, from politicians. They always going to show their good side. So you have to go deep and find out what they really mean by what they say, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. You tell me a lot.
That brings me back to I saw an accident. My sister saw an accident. But explaining the accident, you're going to get two different versions.
Right.
Now, which version is the more towards the reality of what occurred in the accident? And depending on how broad your thinking is, how open-minded you are, is what determines if, what's factual.
Gotcha.
Who to believe, who has the much better perception. And some people, because their mind is not broadened, they stay in that bubble of what I saw, that's exactly what it is. And now they're not willing to change. They're not willing to open up and accept the reality of, your version may be somewhat on, but it's not spot on. Because even you in in the field that you're in, you know that you have to collect enough data from everybody in order to get the proper response that you're looking for what occurred. So you can't just base it off of, one person's vision or two person. But although they both strong-minded and say, hey, this is how it did happen, not necessarily true.
Right. Yeah. You just separate them, give them their version, and also, not to get too deep into it, but you can. I've been in an altercation with someone. A person standing beside me saw things that I had forgot that I participated in because I was under duress. So a guy tried to choke me. I did not remember the choke.
Yeah.
I just remember fighting him. And then another witness said, yeah, he had his hand around your throat. that helped me because then I remembered, yeah, that's why I tased him. I could not remember. I knew I was in a fight with him, but I didn't remember him putting his hand around my throat. So perception could be for different reasons. Not that person, it's not a person is good or bad. It's just that different circumstances, your mind is yeah, it's going to click on this and it's going to skip this. It saw it, but unless I look at the mind like a computer. Unless you put in the right prompt, it won't pick it up. But you say, well, remember now we was going east to west. Nah, man, we was going west to south. We actually did both, but you keyed on this street and I keyed on the other street, and it just we block things out, and that just like.
I never thought about it this deep. That's crazy because when it comes down to a court of law,
yep,
people are giving testimony. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Based on what they know to be true, and
at that moment,
and a lot of it may not be true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's a portion of the truth. Like I said, the person saw a gun. And they and this happens with me and everybody else. I mean, all right, see a gun, my mind is going to fill in the blanks. It was actually, say, a Glock 17, but I saw a revolver. Again, I'm under stress, and it happens when you get older too. I noticed this. All right, one of my eyes is not good as the other one. So the mind compensates. It will throw a picture up there. I'm like, wait a minute. I have to take a second look. Oh, that's not what that's not what I just saw. I saw something, but my mind filled in the blank for me, and I saw something that wasn't correct. And I've learned to.
I haven't had that problem yet.
Well, like I say, I had my retina got detached.
Yeah.
And then I had to put in. They had to put in I got the glaucoma because of the surgeries. They had to take out and put a lens in. So one eye is not it's not as powerful as the other, and your mind. And then another thing after I got hit by that drunk driver, a bird flying in front of my truck was slow motion for a while. I saw everything totally detailed. That was frustrating because your mind anticipating another hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, dang, like boom, like whoa. I mean, she came out of nowhere. She got me good.
Wow.
So it's just your mind play games. I mean, again, talk about perception. There was a bird, but he wasn't flying slow.
Right.
But I was clocking every move that bad boy was making. A moth, what I'm saying, especially at night. When your headlights hit them, and it took me a while. You get spooked.
Wow. go back to the mind. My God, man, listen, it's amazing because you think, in your subconscious, if you can, it's like that analogy you just used, the bird, but in your subconscious, you're like, yo, like, I know this is reality, but then again, for me right now, it's puzzling.
Right.
Because for some reason, the mind, I guess, kind of disconnect to protect itself.
Yeah.
Or it slows things down so that it's helping you realize what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I've been there. I've been there, even in an accident, like, I've been there. I went through the back window of a car, and my girlfriend and her sister died, and my best friend, he got just a cut on his toe. But as I was going through the accident, I'm looking at what's going on, but at the same time, I'm praying.
Right.
And I'm talking to the Lord that I'm in an accident. Make this stop. I got debris and dirt flying in my face, and it's coming through the windshield because the windshield broke.
Right.
And when it stopped, the headlights, I can see I hit the tree, and boom, I broke the seatbelt and went out the back window.
Gotcha.
And then off-duty officer dragged me from the up under because the car flipped over up under the car.
Gotcha.
Dragged me all the way to the curb. I could not move to see anybody.
Right.
I saw my friend when he came over me, and I said, "What happened?" And all I heard was, "Don't look at that one. She's dead. Don't look at that." But my mind was there. My body was there, but my mind was trying to process what's going on.
Right.
And it's a freaky thing, man. It's not something you have to witness when you're in trauma.
Right.
It's something that you're gonna witness when you're in trauma. But I get where you're coming from. I truly get where you're coming from, man.
Yeah.
Perception.
Yeah. Because
that's like my issue with this. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's like my issue with the snake in the yard. Yeah, I haven't stopped thinking about it. Black snake. I understand now it was a garden snake. And,
Yeah.
when we're doing good, we say, oh, if something happens, this is what I'm going to do. We have all this mouth and, all this energy of what we're going to do. So when I found myself, the snake coming towards my feet, I looked at the snake, and then I looked away, and I'm like, is that a snake? Or is that the water hose? Because the hose is also jet black. I'm like, is that a snake or is that a hose? So I looked away, turned away from the snake to look at the hose. And I'm like, no, the hose is here. By the time I turned back, the snake is not at my feet. And I couldn't do anything. I couldn't run. I just didn't know what to do. All I could do was stand there and jump and scream.
Right.
And then my grandson had just been, sending prayers up, And surprisingly, the snake just turned around and went a totally different way.
Right.
Even when I saw him turn and look, I still questioned whether or not it was a snake I saw. So I turned back to look back at the hose. And I'm like, yeah, that is a snake. So when you talk about the mind and perception, it's like, I really don't know what happened during all that time. Like, why was I so slow to react?
Yeah.
Towards what was going on.
Yeah.
And I keep playing this thing back in my head, like, why didn't I run? Why didn't I look for something to hit it with?
Yeah.
What made it turn and go the other way?
Right.
In my mind, I thought it would just slither up my leg, and I don't know. It didn't do any of that. But the fact that I just couldn't move, and I had to double check myself to make sure that this is what I'm seeing. And I did
Yeah.
it twice. I'm like, what happened there?
Now,
You know?
what did that teach you about yourself?
I have no idea. I mean,
In that moment,
I
you froze.
yeah, I froze it, but I guess I don't know if it's just I'm not prepared. I don't know.
Because your reassurance wasn't there.
What reassurance?
That you saw what you saw. You had to look at, you had to evaluate, was that the water hose or was that the snake? Because one thing you have to understand is that God created animals to camouflage themselves very well. So therefore, for you to look at the black water hose and wonder if that's the black water hose when it's moving towards you, if it's a snake, for some reason, for that split second, you couldn't understand that, hey, this is slithering, and it's slithering to me, and it's bigger than a worm, so it must be a snake.
Mm-hmm.
And you froze. You know? So
Yeah,
it's like you went back, it's like what you said before. We talk a lot about what we're going to do when the time, but when the time comes, it don't work out that way. Because I have to tell people sometimes, and even at work, for instance, my coworker was in the elevator, and the elevator stopped mid-floor, in between floors, and she lost it. She lost it, and I had to tell her, hey, calm down, breathe, relax. And then I forced the door open to hit the latch because I know what I was doing to get the elevator unjammed, but it wasn't working, so I started pressing the button, and she started to flip her wig again, man. And I'm telling her, yo, relax. Because what happens is, in that split second, you could panic when you make a mistake and you cause your own life. And that is something that we all have to, some of us are okay with it, and some of us are not.
Mm-hmm.
That split second, that nanosecond, you do the wrong thing, and it can cost you your life. So I always try to be that type of person that I see what I see, relax, and then make a conscious decision to do what you got to do, because this is a moment where you could end up getting hurt, lose your life, or causing somebody else harm. And it's something that is like, you know, I kind of equate it with a police officer doing, going through their technique of going into a building and having their finger on the trigger and trying to decipher is that person a civilian or is that person the perpetrator. In that minute second, you have to make that decision. If not, you're gonna kill the innocent person.
Right.
So in that mental second, you couldn't decipher in your mind what to do. You know, and that's to teach you about yourself, man. Because guess what? It's gonna happen again.
Well, yeah. The thing is also some things you can train for, some things you can't. Say you're driving down the road and a bird flies in your car. Some people flip out and they're turn the car upside down. Others, you're like, okay, I got to pull over quick. It's a bird. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to eat my eyeballs out. But it's an animal that we're not used to. You see the picture where a rat runs in somebody's house and they freak out. Well, the rat is a small thing. You can stomp on it with your foot, but they're like, ooh, don't want to do that. You know, it's like my ex. I was running late one day, and I never let her do it again. I never let her drive me to work. We're driving. I'm running late, and then a squirrel comes up. It's a squirrel. Squirrel do what squirrels do. It runs in the middle of the road, stops and look at you like, "What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?" She go, "Ooh," and stop. I say, "Keep driving. It will move, dude." Because in the military, you get written up for being late. You get written up. All right. I said, "That's the last time you will ever drive me anywhere in importance. Just keep driving." The animal is like, "Okay," he's just curious. He's looking at you like, "What's that? That's the car. That's the car. Go." He's go. But stuff like that. I walked talking about snakes at the old house when I sold. The air conditioner, it had like, I don't know what they call it, a conduit or whatever it leads into the house. A PC pipe or whatever it is. So I didn't know they didn't fill it up with enough for that foam stuff. So I come in and there's a snake in the house. So in my closet where the wash and dry was my shovel, and so I went and got shovel. I killed that one. Then I still didn't know what the problem was. I still didn't, deduce where did he get in from. I'm like, what? So I come in again, and it was funny how these snakes, like, what in the world? Why would they find this hole to get in? A black snake was in there. So, but the black snake was smart. The time it took me to go and get the shovel, he done went back through the hole that he came in out of. So I went and got the foam from Lowe's or one of the stores, and I put a can of it down that bad boy hole. It's just a little rod, Man, I had foam coming out both ends. I was like, not another snake. But you're I'm not a snake person. I don't go around picking up snakes, but I knew I had to remain calm. It's like, okay, I'm gonna kill this bad boy. I let the anger take care of my fear. I'm gonna kill this bad boy. You don't come in my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at work, I walked into a building. We're doing security. I walked into the building, and there he was, another snake. I couldn't. He was so far off, I couldn't tell you color. It was a dark color. I can't say it was black or, it wasn't a poisonous snake. That's the thing. That's key. Because they got it's like a diamond head or whatever it is. It was probably a rat snake or something. But I ain't a snake person. So I called to my dispatch and I said, "Hey, we got a snake in the building." He'll ask me, "Well, can you take care of it?" I said, "No, I can't. No. Call Snake Man. I'm not doing it."
The nerve.
Exactly. I'm not doing it. Yeah. You didn't pay me enough. No. So he got the idea. He said, "Okay, I'll leave them a note." Okay, do what you want to do. I ain't touching the snake. If I kill it or this, that, and other, then y'all gonna have a problem. And I didn't have a shovel. I'm at work in this building. I don't know where their tools at. So I'm like, no. If I slip and fall, the only thing I got is workman comp. They got no benefits. So I ain't doing it.
Yeah. How did you manage that? Seeing it 3 times? I don't know.
Well,
I couldn't handle that.
Well, the first 2 was in the house, so I closed up the hole.
Yeah.
The other place, I don't know how to get in. And like I said, I don't know if that was somebody's pet snake. People bring stupid stuff to work. I don't know. I know I wasn't going to touch it. No.
But you were calm during all of that?
Yeah.
Especially after seeing it in your home, not, oh my God.
Yeah, but still, that, like I said, when I was in the military, you get fearful of many things, but you learn to turn that fear into anger. You're like, get bold about it. I'm gonna kill this bad boy. You got fear just like everybody else. It's something uncertain. Case in point. Okay, so military, you're around country people that they used to snakes, goats, and everything else. I grew up in the city. Now, at when I was up to my first grade with my father and your grandmother, we lived on the farm with my grandmother. And so I got used to chickens, see them slaughtered and pigs, stuff like that. So I got used to it a little more than a city folk would do. But I worked in the military where these dudes would go out hunting rattlesnakes. And so they know white dudes knew black guys didn't like snakes. So they would do little stupid stuff. I told them, I'm armed. I have a gun. Do not play with me. Or one of us is going to the hospital, to the grave, and one of us is going to jail. Do not play with this dead snake. I don't perceive it as dead. It is a danger.
Right.
It's a rattlesnake. Tell that to the judge and the jury. Well, I just threw a snake at him and he shot me. Well, I think somebody out of the 6 or 12 jurors will say, I might have done the same. That's all I need. One. One to side with me and say, that was stupid for you to throw a snake on this guy, because they like to see, some of them like to see, they like to see you squirm, or some black guys go, ah. No, I said, look, I will hurt you. I will hurt you bad. So I turned that fear in control anger. I'm not lash out, but control anger. I will hurt you. I will hurt you bad. And they're like, no, don't mess with him. He's crazy. And that's all I need. Leave me alone.
But you just taught me something new. That is a good technique to turn your fear into anger. Control anger.
Control, yeah. You don't want to lose it because fear would make you it's called 10,000 hours of training. It takes 10,000 hours for you to learn a skill in the military. They tell you that. You have to do it over and over again. Let's do it over and over. You get tired, you get boring, but you do different techniques. So with that, that's why they take us out there in the middle of the night. They throw smoke bombs, they throw fake grenades at us, because I was in a shootout just for this simulated attack. I froze for a second. I don't even know if they knew that I froze, but I actually froze. And when I froze, it took me a second. I got mad at myself, and but I recovered. But I never froze again, because you have to go through something, sometimes for your body to build up their immune, even violence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I learned, okay, someone frees on the battlefield generally because they haven't had that fear grip them in real life. Working at a prison, walking down the hall with 1,000 inmates, all trying to intimidate you, call your names. You know what I'm saying? You can't write them all up. They know that. But what you do is you pick out a victim. You get one. And they say, okay, he crazy. Don't mess with him that much, unless we really want something. You know what I'm saying? We really want some trouble. So, yeah, it's just life.
Yeah, there's a saying that you chop down the biggest giant.
Yes, sir.
And the rest will fall to your feet.
Yep.
And you gotta get the biggest one.
Yep. I was so you have everything is not everything, but a lot of things are key lock. They want the individual officer in control of that key. Now, if they take the key from you, then they have control over certain doors. But by that time, help is coming. It might not be help for you, but help to lock the door back. Because at one dormitory, the dormitory could house 126 inmates. You versus 126. How did that look out? That don't look too good, right? But but I was working the door one time, and so we have Muslims. Muslims is not a religion; is a gang. All right, and you got different kinds of Muslims in there. You got 5%ers. 5%ers believe that they are God. Okay, they're the 5%, that God created and the white man is this and that and other. They got all kind of beliefs. But anyway, I was working the door, and it's a yellow line that they supposed to stand by. So they across the yellow line. I say, back up. All right. I cannot physically move. It was at least 20 to 35, just black group standing at the door, trying to intimidate me. I said, back up, do it now. No, F you, just that another. So I said, I got all day. So I called to the other unit that was supposed to go after me and said, I got a problem at the door. You go first. All right. Say you got chicken day. Say you got something that they really want to get to. If you hold them up, they going to learn a lesson. All right. He crazy. He crazy enough to stand up to all of us. So in the group, it's called E-Man. That's their preacher. That's their group leader. That's their gang member, top dog.
Yeah.
So he came up to me later once he got control of his group, because they cannot go against that leader. He can provide punishment for them. All right. More so than a correction officer. It's an inner gang in the prison.
Be like a house man for them.
Yeah, but a house man can be for the so you got a house man, he does all the janitorial work.
Right.
All right, so that he works for the state. He gets paid. That's generally what we call a house man. But he he is the top dog in that group.
Right.
All right, so you got the KKK and the Aryans, they're gonna have a top man too. Those top men negotiate between each other for deals and this thing and another drug movement and all that kind of stuff. So he came up to me later and he said, you crazy. These, he thought I was doing it for the white man. I was doing it because I'm not gonna let you intimidate me. You say, they could have killed you. They're not gonna. I said, I didn't do it for them. I did it for me. You're not gonna disrespect me. I tell you to stand behind the line, and you'll stand behind mine. He said, I'm gonna go to the warden. I said, go to the warden, tell him. Because the warden then was scared of everybody else. But they knew Mason crazy enough that he ain't scared of him. But you don't want to be cocky. Don't get me wrong. Because they'll shank you in the back, you know what I'm saying? And some of them would take a ride. But we was at a minimum prison where they was eventually getting out. They didn't have 30 years of life. They was on the last part of their 30 years. And they was getting out in the next 4 or 5 years. And so they don't want to do another, or get the death penalty for murdering a correction officer, that sort of thing. It was South Carolina. They still have the death penalty. So that's what I learned, it was 35 of them. I mean, some of the biggest guy there was like 6'5", all muscle. You know what I'm saying? You seen the Green Mile?
Yeah.
All right. Picture that guy, but he's hateful and he's big.
Yeah.
He walked past me one day and he said he was talking to the other inmate, because he can't say this to me, but he's talking all loud so I can hear it.
Yeah.
See, I just want to break somebody's neck. I just want to see him, the life drain out of him. I said, okay. I already set up a attack plan. I knew the body parts that I was going to stick with my key. I already knew. Okay, I'm going for the liver. I'm going for the kidney. I'm going for the eyeball. I'm going for the throat. I'm gonna be just as vicious as he is, but for different, trying to save my own life.
Right.
But that sort of thing. It's preparing for the worst. Is how you train law enforcement correction. You got to be prepared, or they will get you, defecating on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, hey, be prepared.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's so many more of them than there is one you.
And in a small confined area.
Yes.
And it's not many of y'all.
Nope.
Yeah. Some of them could have life in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Some ones be there for many years. They don't care.
Nope.
They don't care.
My life is done anyway.
Yep. And some of them do it for entertainment.
Anyway.
Was that?
The state take care of them anyway.
Oh yeah.
Clothing,
Yeah.
Housing them.
Yeah.
They got nothing to lose.
And some do it for entertainment. I mean, you've been there 25 years, every once in a while you want to fight. You 25, 30 years old. You want to show your boys, I can take out so and so, I can take him out. So, they run up on you. I had several fights while I was in prison. It was use of force for me. It was a fight for them, you know what I'm saying? Because, hey, dude, I need you to pull your pants up. F you. All right, go back to your dorm. I ain't going, make me go. All right, I made him go. You know what I'm saying? I call for backup. Individual guys pants down. I need assistance and so and so. Oh, you just a Uncle Tom, all the whatever. They go and beat up each other and call me the Uncle Tom. They rape and murder each other. I said, no, I'm not putting up with it. No. You need to learn discipline. You can't survive in this world undisciplined. You need to know when to get up, you need to know when to wash your face, and you need to know when to go to work. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's something a lot of people missing on.
Oh yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
And they must be told what to do,
Yes.
People are not taught anymore like to be in control of what they do, to actually figure things out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of the upbringing of, just parents constantly telling, a child what to do this, giving them all the steps and the action movements, and then when they become older, they don't think, or they can't process certain things you would think would be so simple, seem like you should be able to figure this out. They have no clue.
Right.
So it's like, I don't understand what's happening there either.
Well, a lot of things, you see people grow up, and, from, I worked in schools. I wasn't a resource officer, but I would back them up when they needed to be backed up for special occasions, or when, say, incident happened at school, we would rush to the school, talk to the resource officer, and find out and help them sort, because they was in charge. They knew who they knew the student by name, they knew the student's parents, so we just backed them up. But a lot of times it is follow through. All right. One, you don't threaten the child on everything they do. You say, hey, all right, Jimmy, do this. Jimmy, don't do it. You discipline him, stand in the corner, whatever, and you follow through. Jimmy gonna cry, he gonna moan, and you can't let it, get to your heart. Like you stand there for 5 minutes, not for 3 hours. It's a difference between discipline and abuse. So some parents don't know the difference, so they lose the children. But you discipline them and you follow through. If you say, look, when I get home, you in a world of hurt, you got to follow through, because Jimmy like, yeah, and nothing happened. He said, man, mom don't mean nothing. Dad ain't got no spine, So you follow through, and you do it in love, not in hate or anger. Yeah. Sometimes you have to walk away from the kid and come back later. So now we're going to deal with this, But a lot of times in school, when I first started working at the prison, we had a teacher. She was very, very unattractive. She was just a normal person. But she was just unattractive. But this guy, he was like 19 years old. And they say in class, he did something that he shouldn't do. I'll just put it that way. So we dragging him out. Right? He told me, I'm gonna get me. I was like, dude, and then he yells back at the teacher, my mama couldn't make me go to school. What do you think you can do? He wasn't there to get an education. And he had that mindset that wasn't broken yet, that his lifestyle was better than ours. Y'all, I make more than in a week than, y'all make all year. Yeah, but you in prison now. I told him, not him, but I told a different guy. I said, look, you talking about this, that, and other. I said, but you sleep next to a man every night. I don't. You know what I'm saying? They hated me because I get.
About perception,
Yeah, you telling me that I'm a wimp. I'm a P, I'm a this, that, and I'm Uncle Tom. I said, you sleep next to a man. You smell his farts and everything else, and you don't want to. It's not like you you living the good life. You eating prison food. I say, look, you're a modern day slave. And they didn't like what the institution. They always like what I had to say, but they ain't talking to him one black man to another black man. You got to see past what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You want to wild out here, get locked up for some foolishness that you could have went on. Oh, he stepped on my tennis shoes, so I killed him. All right, dude, you step on my tennis shoes. We throw hands, whatever. Don't bother me, this, that, and other. But hey, people didn't like me because I gave them the truth. I just put it this way, and after 10 o'clock, I'm going to run and take a shower. I told a family member, and she got mad when I told her this. I said, your son is either going to be in a dead or in prison for his behavior. And she got mad. She thought I was saying it out of hate. I'm an observer. I'm observing the pattern, and the pattern shows me he's going to be dead or he's going to be in prison. About 2 weeks later than that, he was in the hospital.
Oh, wow.
So his girlfriend was talking, his baby mama was talking to another guy. So he came at the guy. He came at the guy with a knife. The guy shot him in the throat. He survived.
Wow.
So he had the understanding. His mom never did, but he had to understand. He said, "Oh, you're right." Because I told him the same thing. I said, "You'll be dead in the grave. You cannot wild out with people and expect them. I'm swinging at you, Reggie. Eventually, you're gonna hit me. You know what I'm saying? Why? I'm in your face. I'm taking I'm trying to take away your rights.
Right.
I saw you with my girl. Well, talk to the girls. Hey, what's up? It's me or him? No.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do that. He don't intimidate whatever with a knife, with a kitchen knife. Got shot. Cops didn't do nothing. Then he ends up in jail for 20-some years. Both prophecies came to. It's not that I wanted. I'm just telling you what I've seen. If you jump out of a plane without a parachute, I can safely tell you, unless you're Superman, you're going to hit the ground. You don't have to believe me.
Hit it real hard.
You're going to hit it real hard. You don't have to believe me. But I'm telling you, don't do it. So, you can love people, but sometimes you got to tell them, man, I wouldn't do that without you, man. So, let me go take a shower. I got to go to work.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. Whatever topic y'all want next time, just let me know. Put together something and or just have a good time talking. Again, no pressure. It don't have to be every night because everybody works and everybody thinks. But whenever I'm just coming on, like I said, especially between now and the 20th, trying to do something. Yeah, but just let me know. And don't forget, y'all can do the same thing on TikTok too. So
Yeah.
all right,
Special guest didn't show up, but maybe
maybe next time.
I'll reach back in.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll talk again.
All right.
I'll be down there with Reggie.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
I'll be down there with Reggie tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, you don't. Oh, y'all. Okay, y'all be in the same city. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Under the same roof.
Okay.
Yeah. Stay by him when I'm there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, then.
We'll talk again tomorrow.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I had to get out the building and tune in with you guys. I don't really